Health, they say, is real wealth, not pieces of gold and silver. Well then, let's get you healthy, shall we?
Stress is a precursor for some cardiovascular diseases.
Okay.
When asthmatics are stressed, they get attacks.
Okay.
So these are reasons why you shouldn't be stressed medically.
The diagnosis, symptoms, and treatment of various ailments expounded and demystified.
If you have peptic ulcer that is being treated, then you may want to avoid spicy foods because that increases the discomfort. Again, would advise that your meals are regular if you have peptic ulcer to prevent hunger pangs.
Okay.
So these are helpful lifestyle things.
Tune in to Doctor Who, our interactive health program here on Sweet Melodies 94.3 FM. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. as our radio doctors dissect various topics pivotal to your health and well-being. Doctor Who. Saving every heartbeat.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. You're welcome to today's edition of Doctor Who. This is our health show here on Sweet Melodies FM, and we bring you amazing discussions that take a look at your health and everything that comes with it. So today we're talking about your eyes, specifically cataracts. I have Dr. Adam with me in the studios today to do justice to this topic. Dr. Adam, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so listeners, in the course of our discussion, if you have any questions or contributions, you can do that on 0279-100-600. That's 0279-100-600. We're live on Facebook as well, so you can hop on there and join the discussion. Okay, Dr. Adam, so cataracts. Why are we talking about cataracts, first of all?
Okay. We are talking about cataract mainly because cataract happens to be one of the leading causes of what we refer to as avoidable and reversible cause of blindness in the world.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's number one
globally,
and also number one in Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So that makes it a very important topic.
Yes.
You don't need to go blind. You can. Cataract is avoidable, treatable.
Yes, avoidable and reversible.
Reversible.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wonderful. So, what is cataract exactly?
Okay. So when we talk about cataract, we are referring to the clouding of the lens that we have in our eyes.
Okay.
What we call the crystalline lens in the eye.
Okay.
When it becomes dirty or cloudy, then it is referred to as cataract.
Okay.
Yeah.
So cloud, is it visible to the person experiencing it?
Okay. So visible sometimes depending on the state of maturity.
Okay.
So there are some people that will even come to you and say, "Oh, we have cataract," when I mean, ideally it is not cataract, maybe it's something else.
Okay.
Simply because maybe they have seen something on their eye. So most people, once they see something on their eyes, especially what we refer to as pterygium, they presume that it is cataract.
It's cataract. Okay.
Yeah. So cataract becomes very visible when it is very matured, or some other times as a result of, let's say, one that is caused by a trauma can become visible when it is very white.
Okay.
Now, other than that, it is something that one cannot see.
Okay.
One can only perceive the symptoms, but then not see it with his or her own eye,
Okay.
Unless the person gets to the hospital, and then we carry out a very comprehensive eye examination.
I see. In other words, it's possible to have cataract and not know.
Okay, so you will not, know specifically that what you are experiencing
Is cataract.
is cataract.
Okay.
Yes, because some of the symptoms that you will experience are also symptoms that can come with other eye diseases as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is not that unless, let's say, maybe due to a very traumatic experience, the cloudy lens now begins to show externally for others to see, or to the person who has it to be able to view it, let's say in a mirror. Yeah,
Okay.
other than that, you will not be able to tell specifically that what you are experiencing is as a result of cataract.
Okay, all right, wonderful. So we've mentioned signs and symptoms. We'll get into that in a bit. But I think you also mentioned stages earlier. Are there different stages of cataract? What are they?
Yeah, so a cataract can be referred to as infantile or immatured.
Okay.
That is when it's at that, early stage.
Okay, small boy cataract. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And then when it becomes very big, or when the whole lens is covered with that dirt, then we say, oh, one has a very matured cataract.
Okay.
Now, so basically, essentially, once there's even a small dirt on that lens, we will refer to it as that cataract.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a very big dirt before we say it is cataract. Once that we perceive, or once we see, once we see even the small dot of cloudiness or of dirt on that lens, it is cataract.
Okay.
So at that stage, then we say, oh, it is immature.
Okay.
Then as that dirt begins to grow or become bigger, then we'll refer to it as a matured cataract.
Okay.
At that stage, then the person is virtually blind.
Okay.
Yeah, not seeing anything at all, or maybe just seeing things that are very, very, very close
Okay.
to him or her.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Remember, listeners, the number to send your questions to is 0279 100600, 0279 100 600. We're discussing cataract. I'm in the studios today with Dr. Adam. Okay, Dr. Adam, so what causes cataract exactly? You've mentioned deaths. Is it regular deaths that we're talking about?
No, please.
Okay.
Okay, so cataract, especially, even, let me say globally, cataract is usually associated with aging.
Oh, okay.
Yes, associated with aging.
Okay.
And the lens in the eye can be likened to the layers of, let's say, onion. Yes. So in the eye, there are some fibers, as we will call it, that are laid at at birth. So as we age, our exposure to UV radiations and all that causes those fibers that were laid initially to change in color. So instead of them being very white, very transparent for light to be able to go through, they now develop hues or certain colors that are now beginning to prevent light to move freely through that lens to hit the back of the eye for a clear vision, for one to have a clear vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have different types of cataract based on what I just described, which is the layout of the fibers. So we have what we call the nuclear cataract. That is when within the lens we have something we call the nucleus. When the nucleus is dirty, then we refer to as a nuclear cataract. We have what we call the cortical cataract. Okay. And then finally we have the posterior subcapsular cataract.
Yes.
That is when
That's a big one.
That's a big one, yeah.
Okay.
That is when the outer posterior layers of the crystalline lens becomes dirty. Then we refer to that as a posterior subcapsular cataract. Okay. So these are the three types of cataract.
Okay, so that means that depends on the type of cataract, depends on the location.
Yes, please. Yeah,
The
the
blood,
location of where the dirt is in the lens.
Okay.
Yeah, and then to add to that, even though I initially stated that cataract is usually associated with aging, that doesn't mean that it's only the adults that will experience cataract. I mean, a child can also be born with cataract.
Okay.
And then
Can be congenital. That's interesting.
Yes, congenital cataract. Yes. So
Even if the mother does not have it.
no, even if the mother doesn't have it, sometimes maybe as a result of a certain disease that maybe the mother, got infected with in the course of pregnancy.
Okay.
Yes, so that can result in the baby developing cataract even in the womb.
Okay.
Yeah. So at birth, so somebody can be born with cataract.
Okay.
And then those who are not, let me say, young adults in between can also have or develop cataract.
Okay.
One may be due to a trauma or an injury to the eye. One can develop cataract, or maybe as a result of certain systemic conditions like diabetes, or maybe the person is having a systemic condition for which he or she is on a certain medication.
Okay.
Those, can also, result in the formation of cataract in the eye.
Wonderful. The number again is 079-100-600, 079-100-600. Dr. Adam, so let's talk about the signs and symptoms now. How do you know that what you're experiencing is cataract?
Okay. So I think even before I get there, so initially you also asked about like the causes, so aging. Right. So I want to really stress on that. So we talked about aging, alcohol consumption and smoking.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Yes, it can cause one to develop cataract very fast.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever heard this.
Yeah.
Alcohol consumption and smoking can cause cataract?
Smoking, yes. Because of what you call like oxidative like processes that can take place within the lens, coming from one's intake of alcohol, or as a result of one what's the name, engagement with like smoking.
Okay.
And
that is interesting. Alcohol and smoking keeps popping up in all our medical discussions, listeners. I'm sure by now you've noticed. So let's just stay away.
Yeah, sure.
I wasn't expecting it to pop up here, honestly, when we're discussing cataract, but here it is again. So let's watch it. Okay.
Yes. So and then injuries to the eye. So as much as possible, we want to advise people to not engage in physical, fight. And then also,
blows.
if two blows, very good. If two individuals are also fighting, you who is trying to separate them, don't get too close to them before someone accidentally hits your eye, and then it results in you having or developing cataract.
Okay.
So trauma, like I mentioned, certain systemic conditions like diabetes also can lead to the formation of cataract, and medications like prolonged stay on medications such as steroids can also cause cataract.
Okay.
So generally these are...
So like athletes and stuff who take steroids can be affected?
Yes. Or let's say maybe there's an inflammation in, let's say people who have arthritis and all of that, who are given a medication that contains steroids so as to help ease their discomfort. If you are on it for a very long time, you can also develop cataract. And finally, one of the major causes is our exposure to UV radiations.
Okay.
Or to the sun.
Is that from sunlight?
Yes, please.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not see that coming.
Yeah. So that's how come. Cataract is also very common in our part of the world.
Right.
Yeah. So these are the causes of cataract.
Okay.
So then now that leads me to the symptoms. Yes. So number one symptom is blurriness of vision or blurry vision.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you realize that your vision is going down, it's going down gradually. It can be as a result of cataract. Number two, when you are driving at night and you tend to experience halos, or you are becoming more sensitive to light when driving at night. Okay. That is number two symptom. Number three, sometimes you can also perceive like halos are around light. So you are watching light and you see different colors around light. That can also be one of the symptoms of cataract. sometimes one can also see things 2-2 or double vision.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And then also reduction in your vision at night.
Okay. Night vision.
Yes, night vision. When your night vision is also going down, it can be as a result of cataract. And then finally, some types of cataract also causes people to experience reduction in their color sensitivities. So the intensity of a certain color, let's say maybe a yellow color and all of that, begins to go down.
Okay.
It can be as a result of cataract as well. So these are the symptoms that
go down, like you see the yellow as brown, for instance, or
no, like the hue, the intensity, like it goes down, so you don't see it as bright as it should be.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. So these are some of the signs and symptoms of cataract.
Yes, please.
Okay, but all of them don't mean that if you have some of these, it does not mean that you have cataract. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So once you have some of these things, you need to come to a specialist for a specialist to carry out a comprehensive examination to determine whether this is as a result of cataract or some other eye condition.
Okay. All right, wonderful. We have a few questions here we want to look at.
Which helps in focusing of light